And also, responsible AI must be explainable, auditable, traceable, right? It should not be black box. You should able to explain to anybody who is not even from IT background, right? In a simple language, simple terms, right? You are walking on the street, you catch someone and explain, hey, this is the product I have built, and this is a very simple algorithm I have used in a simple language. That's what I call it, responsible AI.
From, I suppose, a regulatory perspective, which is an area that you will be more than familiar with, a lot of people are always saying the same thing, regulation kills innovation. And others are saying without it, AI could certainly become uncontrollable, dare I say dangerous. Where do you stand on this controversy or this argument?
No, I think it's a very fair argument, and we should have fair amount of debate on this topic. The regulation versus innovation. So, are these regulations are slowing down the pace of innovation? Probably yes, but are they making our life easy and safer? Definitely. So I always used to give this analogy of traffic lights. They slow us down momentarily, but they make sure everybody who is on the road are safe and reach home safely. So similarly, AI solutions, if they are not regulated, they can go anywhere. They can really create chaos, right? And we don't want that. And for that, we have a responsible innovation along with the proper regulation. That's my point of view.
Secure CyberConnect will be working with DTX as it returns to Excel London for its 20th edition on the 1st and 2nd of October 2025. And this year, they're moving beyond digital for digital's sake and shifting focus to business-wide transformation, where people, process and technology intersect. Explore every stage of transformation from high-level strategy to implementation on the ground. And with a packed program of expert speakers, innovative tech showcases and peer-driven learning, from AI, cyber, data to digital, DTX is where innovative teams turn ideas into practical, measurable change. Register for your free badge at dtxevents.io. This is the Secure CyberConnect podcast with Jay Adamson and Warren Atkinson, where we're joined by information, cybersecurity, technology and talent acquisition professionals who share their journeys, unique perspectives and offer advice and guidance. Topics on this episode will be AI ethics exposed, combating scams 2.0 and misinformation, as well as some digital transformation insights. Today we're thrilled to be joined by Praveen Tomar. Praveen is head of data automation at Ofgem, with over 23 years experience in IT transformation, automation and data strategy across governmental and global enterprises. He's an award-winning thought leader, a patent holder, and a senior member of IEEE, widely recognised for his contributions to ethical AI, digital inclusion, and public sector innovation. His work focuses on harnessing AI responsibly to combat misinformation, build trust, and enhance societal resilience. As head of process digitisation and AI at Ofgem, he's led many large-scale automation and AI projects that have improved efficiency and public trust and inclusivity. He's also contributed to thought leadership through patents, his AI-powered fake news detection, research publications, and advisory board roles, giving him a unique perspective on responsible AI adoption and digital literacy. Praveen, welcome to the Secure CyberConnect podcast today, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Warren, for having me. And really excited about sharing my experience and my learnings with your audience.
Jay and myself, I'm really excited, equally, Praveen. So thank you for joining us. And as we kick things off, could you give the audience a brief high-level overview of some of the themes and topics that we're going to explore in discussion today?
Sure, Warren. So we are going to discuss today digital inclusion, digital inclusive workplace as well. And also we are going to discuss ethical framework, ethics in AI. And we are also going to discuss Scam 2.0 and online misinformation and disinformation and how to combat with. I will share my tips and tricks and also some basic literacy about how to deal with, not only for those who are, elderly people or those who are not in technology, but even people, those who are tech savvy like you and me, but still we get into those kind of scams, how to prevent yourself.
No, sounds fascinating. Really can't wait to unpack that. And as we kick off, could you share something that you're either proud of or excited about that isn't typically featured on your LinkedIn?
Yeah. So Warren, I would like to talk about my passion for digital inclusion, which is you cannot write and describe in words. Yeah, you can write it. I'm a passionate person for public service and digital inclusion, but it does not reflect the true spirit, right? And there is so I'm going to talk about one of my application solution which we built around a year back in Ofgem. And this application is called Optimal Working Passport. And this application basically helps in terms of, uh, creating Ofgem more digitally inclusive workplace. So it's an app with anybody in Ofgem can raise a request for workplace adjustment, like, for to request, a noise cancelling headset, request for Grammarly application, request for, a disability adjustment, request for neurodiversity or caring responsibility adjustment. So this app helped a lot in terms of removing the barrier from the process, right, and made our organization more digitally inclusive. So digital inclusion is not only the responsibility of people those who are having need of some kind of a special need or disability. It's a responsibility of everyone, and that's the true spirit which reflects in this app.
Really impressive. I know we spoke previously about the impact that you delivered in that. And, I take my hat off to you and the team making the accommodations and making it more accessible. And could you share with us a significant challenge perhaps that you faced in your career that's shaped your views and perspective on cybersecurity?
Absolutely. So couple of incident which particularly, one is professional, one is personal. So I will start with my personal experience. When 12 years back, when I was very new into the UK, I got a call from somebody was impersonating from home office, and they called me that there is some issue with my visa and I need to go to post office and transfer roughly around £2,400 immediately without any delay. Otherwise, my visa will be cancelled and I will be deported, right? So I got scared because I was new to the country and it's hardly a month. Uh, then I sensed that the urgency, which these guys were pressurizing me, and then I happened to be on in front of my system. I did some googling, and then I figured out this is a scam. So I asked them, okay, I cannot do it anything right away. So somehow I managed to save myself after discussing with my colleague as well. But these are the things which help me a lot in terms of understanding the online scam, right? And people, and this couple of red flag which I want to educate and make aware to everyone. Whenever you see there is an urgency or emotional pressure, always try to slow down the process. Always try to add some time, some delay. So they will get panic and they will try to back out from that process, right? So try to add delay as much as possible. Urgency, emotional pressure, these are the two big red flag. So this was the first lesson, and second one was in public sector in my professional life. In my last organization, when I was working for ONS as a automation lead. So it was during COVID time. We used to get lots of citizens' data, their personal information, their postcode, their flat number, and so other their COVID results status as well, right? Which was quite sensitive information in those days. Still, it is very sensitive, but in those days it was very, very sensitive. So we had some issues, but somehow we figured out this is utmost important, right? And that has caused significant delay in terms of reporting the COVID infection survey data to the media and to the respective authorities and minister at that point of time. But somehow we managed to overcome with the help of some great cybersecurity consultant from external. They helped us in terms of setting up the infrastructure. Yeah, so these are the two use case I would say helped me a lot in terms of shaping my opinion about cybersecurity.
No, I appreciate you sharing, and sorry that you had to go through that early in your career, and it's certainly something that many individuals are facing, especially those that have gone through the immigration process, for instance. I think from a social engineering aspect, for actors are playing on the emotions and that fear.
So, in terms of ethical AI and looking at a more human-centric security focus, and certainly within a governmental perspective, AI in government is, it's not just a speed, does it work quickly? It's more about fairness and accountability, and is it trustworthy enough? How do you make sure that people can trust these algorithms?
Jay, this is one of my favorite question, honestly. Building the digital trust among citizens is the utmost priority of the not only of the government but from everyone, right, who is behind building these codes or bringing this technology to the life or bringing the new solution to the public life, right? And to serve the public, they have a nice intent to serve the public with this digital solutions or product and services. And I believe that the participation and engaging with the right stakeholders, right, at the very early stage of when we building or implementing any AI enabled solution, co-creation along with the citizens, right? Not some developers or some cybersecurity expert or some business analyst sitting in one building and build the solution for public. That would be really disaster, right? So you need to involve co-creation. That's what I would say. Co-creation along with the community, bring the trust. Trust is not something and it has to be earned, right? So you have to build something and earn the trust, right? And then when people will start believing on you, they will start using it. So if you build a very nice solution, but if people are not using it, it has no use.
And sort of following on from that, millions of people are going to be depending on AI outcomes, and certainly within healthcare, within benefit systems, judicial systems, generally, responsible AI is going to stop becoming a buzzword and be very quickly become a matter of public trust. And people are going to be relying on this for their well-being. So from your side, what does responsible AI actually look like when millions of people depend on the outcome?
So there are twofold answer to this question, and very important question, right? So responsible AI means the AI should be fair. Any solution, any product and services which are using AI or any kind of AI algorithm, it should be fair, unbiased, and citizen-centric. When you build the solution, the citizen should be in the heart of everything what we do, right? And tested by the citizen. So these are the things I seeing as a responsible AI. And also responsible AI must be explainable, auditable, traceable, right? It should not be black box. You should able to explain to anybody who is not even from IT background, right? In a simple language, simple terms, right? You are walking on the street, you catch someone and explain, hey, this is the product I have built, and this is a very simple algorithm I have used in a simple language. That's what I call it, responsible AI.
From I suppose, a regulatory perspective, which is an area that you will be more than familiar with, a lot of people are always saying the same thing. Regulation kills innovation. Others are saying without it, AI could certainly become uncontrollable, dare I say, dangerous. Where do you stand on this controversy or this argument?
No, I think it's a very fair argument, and we should have fair amount of debate on this topic, the regulation versus innovation. So are these regulations are slowing down the pace of innovation? Probably yes, but are they making our life easy and safer? Definitely. So I always used to give this analogy of traffic lights. They slow us down momentarily, but they make sure everybody who is on the road are safe and reach home safely. So similarly, AI solutions, if they are not regulated, they can go anywhere. They can really create chaos, right? And we don't want that. And for that, we have a responsible innovation along with the proper regulation. That's my point of view.
Yeah, we do love an analogy on the podcast, Praveen. So, just talking a bit more about some of the more, I guess, scam 2.0s, if you will, to encapsulate it generically, deepfakes, voice cloning, all the misinformation that's going on out there now. From your side, what's the most shocking sort of AI-powered scam that you've seen that's made you think, look, the future's here, it's not science fiction anymore, and it's happening?
Absolutely. Many example I can share, but couple of I've selected specifically. One of them is, I'm not sure, in 2024 when general election was happening, there was a fake news was running on the media about the prime minister at that point of time, Mr. Rishi Sunak, that he is planning to leave UK and planning to get settled in California in US because he was green card holder. And that was the fake news. And they used the image of Rishi Sunak, and he was speaking that, though he was not speaking, it was AI generated content. I'm not saying they lost the election because of that, but definitely that person has lost significant credibility because of it. The fake news. After 2 days, the authority came and they say it was a fake video, just ignore it. But the damage has been done. And similarly, another fake video. I originally come from India. During election time in 2024, there was a fake video emerged for, at that point of time, Home Minister, which was quite controversial. Though it was clarified after 24 hours that it was a fake video, but by the time the damage has been done, the perception has gone, right? And it impacts, and it is happening. And I'm sure you guys must have followed the US elections as well. There's a lot of fake video and fake news which impacted election broadly, outcome of public perception, right? So I don't think so that you will see any bigger scam which is helping in changing the government itself.
Yeah, I think it's something that plants a seed in the mind of individuals, and it only takes one person to see these things and then go off and it multiplies. They speak to other people about it. Those people might not have seen it, but they're getting that information from someone they perceive as a credible source. So it does have a compounding effect, and it is concerning.
Once the toothpaste out of the tube, as the old saying goes. So let's talk a bit about digital literacy. It's clearly important, in working against scams and combating scams and misinformation, because it obviously equips people with the ability to recognise and question and resist many of these manipulative situations. Despite its ever-growing importance, society still feels like it's falling short. And so, from your side, what do you think digital literacy brings as a combat sort of against scams and misinformation? Why are we failing at it as well, Praveen?
Yeah. So first of all, digital literacy is the biggest defense mechanism we have, right, against combating with this online misinformation, fraud, scams, or cyber attacks, etc. And broadly, we are failing that because the accountability, and we believe that security, cyber security, information security, or digital literacy is a job of the skilled or expert people. No, it's a job of yourself. When you in the night you lock your home, right? You make sure you close the door. You don't believe that okay, somebody will come and do safety for you, right, or make your house safer. So it's your own responsibility, accountability. And widely, I believe that this topic is got very little attention from the mainstream media. Like you are trying to build the digital literacy with these kind of postcards, making user aware. Not only the people, those who are not from IT background, or those who have not have college degree, or 4 years computer science masters or 5 years PhD, they are also affected by this. It's not like that those who are having IT education and they cannot be scammed. They can be also scammed, right? I got scammed. My wife got scammed. She's also in IT. So the attention from the mainstream media is very little, and the course curriculum at a school level, university level, have very little attention on honestly digital literacy, how to combat with it, right? So on and off, I'm not saying people are not making efforts. People are making efforts, but it's not enough. We need to make more, like the podcast which you guys are doing. Absolutely fantastic job you guys are doing, spreading the awareness, sensitivity, and urgency to increase the penetration of digital literacy across the society and across all the strata of the society.
And if you were to maybe bring it down to one street smart hack, one thing that you would say if you had to impart one piece of really vital advice to avoid people falling for these next gen scams, what would it be?
From my own experience, I would say pause, slow down, and verify. So if anything, you try to create some kind of most of the time scammers try to exploit the human trust and urgency and emotional angle, right? So these are the red flags. So you should be able to identify these red flags. Somebody trying to call you and say, hey, they have urgent need, and they are impersonating like your friends or your colleague, right? And because the voice cloning bot or the deepfake videos, they need just 3 seconds of your image or video, and they can create a whole lot of new video call. So pause, verify, slow down the process, and critical thinking, and understand these red flags. Emotional urgency. These are the two red flags which needs to identify, and these are the, I would say, my hack being street smart and prevent yourself from these scammers.
Appreciate you sharing that, Praveen. And for organizations that are deploying AI, what are the first three moves to protect them both themselves and, of course, the general public?
Yeah, so I would suggest start with building the strong, robust AI governance framework, right? So without how you are going to govern your AI solution through this framework is very important. And number two is train and educate your staff, because AI also created some kind of panic. I'm sure you guys must be coming across that people are afraid AI will take their job, what they will do. So it's not like that. You need to train them so they can trust it and they can embrace the AI as a technology, right, to improve the productivity. Like Microsoft Copilot helps in terms of creating your automating your tasks which are repeated in nature or quite clerical or mechanical in nature. So free up your time, and so you can engage in the work which is required more cognitive skills or human skills. So, and third one, I would say, citizen-centric testing and co-creation of the solution, right? So if you are in public sector, or even if you're in private sector, but your product and services are going to be used by public, treat them as a stakeholder, involve them in as early as possible when you're trying to build something new for them.
No, makes sense. And I know you've addressed this earlier, but are there ever ways that people, the general public, for instance, can tell what's real and what's fake online? Any other tips in that respect?
So you need to learn to spot the red flags, like look out for emotional manipulation. Like if your friends or if family member who are the fake scammer is impersonating, or somebody is trying to sell you something which is difficult to believe, it's too good to be true, right? And online cryptocurrency, somebody is trying to say, hey, there is a nice delivery calls nowadays, delivery packages being delivered on your door for new iPhone, and you have to pay just £20 or £30 by scanning the QR code. So urgency. And also when you are buying something online, always check the URLs, right? So there, if you find something suspicious, it does not look right, do the reverse engineering, search back that image on the Google, and you will get the right URL, right? So these are the things I would suggest to look for it.
No, some solid points. Appreciate you sharing. And you mentioned earlier in the conversation that we need a human plus machine mindset. So what does that actually look like in day-to-day life for workers, leaders, and of course, the general public?
So as I mentioned also, like, AI can help. AI is an assistant kind of technology, right, which helps in terms of delivering the efficiency improvement for you and your team and or the organization. But ultimately, it's you leaders who see the automated dashboard, but the judgment is there, decision making is there, right? So the AI is not going to take the decision for them, right? So AI can automate the backend processes, which are quite simple in nature, repeated in nature, and also present their own, data-driven point of view through AI. But ultimately, the decision belongs to the employees, right? So they have to decide. They have to use their cognitive intelligence, and also data cannot, explain everything and cannot outlive the human life experience, right? So data. So when you build anything, there are obvious blind spots, right? So always consider the human experience in the context of when you're building solution with using AI technology or any emerging technology.
No, some fascinating stuff. And look, going back to your career journey, it's certainly been a really interesting one. You've gone from global consulting to leading AI at Ofgem. Now, what has that journey? How has that journey shaped your perspective on public trust?
Yeah, quite interesting question indeed. So I've worked in different countries, different continents, and each society has its own biases and good things as well. So biases is not always bad. They have good biases as well. So like, Latin American society, if you go, they will treat you very warmly. They will treat you just like their extended family members, right? And so societal biases, and society has its own, perception about absolutely right and wrong, right? So and also they value time differently. Like in UK, as soon as the meeting start, we say, okay, let's get to the work. Hi, hello, good morning. And if you go, I used to work in Tampa, Florida, so most of my teammates were from Latin America and Mexico. Their first 10 minutes they will ask, hey, how are you, what you did over the weekend. So respect the difference of the culture, right? And ultimately everything is all around people and values. So anything which is related with technology or process can be fixed, but anything related with people, you need, and again, it's come down to the same thing, trust. You need to build the trust, and to build the trust, you need to showcase your transaction, which happens on day-to-day basis. Yes, you are a trustworthy person.
Yeah, and I think you've highlighted one thing there, and something that we see in the go-to-market space is that organizations sometimes don't have that local cultural knowledge, how to communicate effectively, how to do business. And a lot of leaders put barriers in front of themselves. They put excuses there saying that they don't have experience in the region. And one thing we say to them is leverage LinkedIn. Look for those individuals that are in region and just have a cup of coffee, a virtual coffee with them. And people will open up and give you a bit of advice and guidance, how best to engage. You don't need to be investing thousands of pounds doing market research. It's just leveraging that network and the community you've already got, for instance.
Absolutely.
And look, you've obviously you've worked across the globe, you've brought together and you've been exposed to diverse perspectives. So what leadership lessons have served you the best when delivering large-scale, high-stake AI projects?
From my point of view, and I do remember one of my projects, which was quite ambitious and was spread across 3 different countries. And it was a diverse team. So to build and deliver any impactful large-scale project, you need to map out the stakeholder properly. So stakeholder mapping and stakeholder analysis. If you don't have right stakeholders, whatever you will build, very slim chances it won't go live, or even if it goes live, very few people adopt it. And poor user adoption is a poor planning and result of poor stakeholder mapping. So again, the point is here, you have to, stakeholders are people, they are human, they have resistance to change. So whenever you're trying to build something new, they will say, no, life is going fine. Why are you building something new? So you need to convince them it's for them, and we are building along with them. We are not building for them. We are building along with them. So that helps a lot. And these are the challenges. And these are my perspective as a leadership. Engage with audience, engage with right stakeholder, and involve everyone, right, as much as possible.
No, some solid advice. And I think, getting the buy-in from other areas of the business, other stakeholders is a challenge for many. And as you mentioned, aligning, the business outcomes with their priorities, for instance, is a great way to do that. And flipping it on its head, looking at those that are perhaps sort of looking to enter the industry or earlier in their career, what one key piece of advice would you perhaps give them, especially those particular sort of they've got their eye on AI security?
Yeah, so my advice would be leave comfort zone and keep learning, and embrace challenges, and constantly make efforts to continue professional development, learn, unlearn, and learn new stuff, right? AI and cybersecurity, they are fast moving space. So if you stop learning, even if you have done PhD from the topmost university, after a few years it will become irrelevant. So they are moving fast, and also stay curious and adaptable in this, especially in AI and cybersecurity, because they are changing very fast.
I appreciate you sharing. I think one thing to add to that as well is Linux experience. We certainly see that in a lot of job descriptions and from conversations that myself and Jay are having. Those that have got familiarity with the Linux systems, for instance, give themselves a slight competitive edge, especially in a lot of AI-based models, for instance, run on all those systems.
Looking towards the future, as we always do, and asking many of our previous guests a similar question, really, Praveen, is we're looking what the next few years looks like. What do you think AI's potential really looks like? What excites you the most? And more importantly, I guess, what concerns you the most?
So AI excites me, or any AI solution excites me about the productivity. It helps in terms of improving the productivity and reduce the manual efforts, and that helps a lot in terms of freeing up the time from people's life, so they can spend more time with their family, or they can do something else, or they can take one extra coffee break and have an extra cup of coffee. So that's excite me every time. And solving complex business and people's lives problem using technology, that excites me. And what worrying me honestly is, the cognitive decline of critical thinking and also the empathy. Empathy can be not only expressed in the word, but also in the actions as well. So AI can express things in words, in voice, but cannot express in the actions. So, which is quite worrying. I'm not saying immediate worry, but maybe after 20 years or 30 years, maybe when Star Wars 25 will release, by the time you will see there will be, like emotional question, we will be also having intelligent along with IQ, EQ, emotional questions, right? Which is also should be part of, assessment of your employees or when you're trying to hire somebody.
And what do you want people to remember, you by as well, from your own perspective, when you look back at your own career, what do you want your legacy to be within AI and I guess within cyber? What do you want it to stand for?
Yeah, so my legacy is inclusive AI and cybersecurity. So these emerging technology should reach out to the every person who is sitting or standing last in the line, right? Those who are not literate, those who are underprivileged, never got the opportunity to go to the university, or those who have certain disadvantages, they should not be excluded from this revolution of AI and cybersecurity. They should be part of it, and this is the responsibility of society not to forget them and not to leave them behind. And that's why I wanted to know, my legacy, inclusive, AI and cybersecurity.
No, I appreciate you sharing there. And, of course, this episode itself, it's in partnership with DTX, the Digital Transformation Exhibition. Now, digital leaders face AI disruption, rising scams, and, of course, complex and emerging regulations. So why are gatherings like DTX London so crucial for leaders and innovators right now?
So DTX provides safer space for business leaders and technology leaders to, exchange their ideas, their challenges, and also their learning and best practices, right? So this I see as a safe platform. They can talk safely, they can learn, and they can engage constructively with other industry leaders, and not necessarily leaders, or anybody who is having some kind of solution, or at least have the similar problem, if not the solution for their problem. And also, it is an opportunity to do the networking. It's bringing all the top-notch industry leader together, right? So it's just a great opportunity for like-minded people to come together and share ideas, exchange ideas, and peer-to-peer learning.
And on peer-to-peer learning, what conversations specifically do you hope to spark with leaders in government, energy, and of course, private sectors?
So I'm looking for practical dialogue, practical conversation around digital trust and ethical AI, implementation of ethical AI. So especially around public sector, how these, conversation in terms of, around citizen-centric solution, which are using some kind of AI technology, how we can make them safe, how we can make it, like our first question, how we can make our citizen to trust our solution, right? So, and what are the practical challenges we are going to have, and how we can overcome, how we can build the partnership, with public sector, regulator, private sector, academician, so they can bring their own perspective as well, right, in this journey.
No, that's brilliant. And of course, you're going to be speaking at DTX London. What excites you most about being on stage, and what's the one key insight you want attendees to walk away with?
I wanted to showcase the art of possibility and also the success story of one of our solution, which I talked about earlier, the inclusive workplace, optimal working passport. So though it's a simple app, simple solution, but it is impacting your employee's life. And in Ofgem, it has already impacted 600 people's lives. So imagine an organization who's having 10,000 employees, probably it will create a significant amount of impact, right? So digital inclusion is not, or the inclusive workplace is not just a tick in the checklist. It's way beyond that, right? So that's the key takeaway, and the points to remember and points to think after. I want to leave with the audience.
No, that's brilliant. And many of our audience perhaps are on the fence about attending DTX. Some of them, it may even be their first event, a trade show, for instance. Now, if you were to attend DTX as a delegate, what's the smartest way to get the most value out of it? And which emerging challenges do you hope the expo such as this help tackle outside of obviously inclusion?
Really? Yeah. So I learned this by myself many years ago when I started attending these kind of events. So engage actively, network widely, and focus on actionable takeaways. So go ahead and shake hands with as many as people, right? And learn, do the networking. And nowadays, network is your net worth, right? So it's not, I'm not the one who quoted this, somebody else quoted it. And also engage, ask question, challenge assumptions, right? And this is how you will learn and you will make most of this event.
And for those that perhaps find these events sometimes overstimulating, are there any key parts of advice that you could perhaps share with them to help in those situations?
Stay focused. So out of those noise, probably, you will get only good piece of advice in few discussions. So stay focused and engage actively, right? And listen, I would say, try to copy. Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing with the audience and community. And myself and Jay are really looking forward to your talk at DTX, and we hope that, of course, our audience community can join us all there.
And if the audience if you were to recommend maybe one mindset shift from everything we've talked about in this episode, what would you say to our audience? What should it be?
Consider it, development of AI solutions or cybersecurity solution, right? And consideration starts with citizen-centric solutions. So involve citizens, co-creation, right? So that's what I wanted to give the message. Don't build something sitting in some building and now, bringing into the life to impact the citizen's life. It may not work. So involve citizen.
Fair enough. And from your side, Praveen, what would you sort of say your vision and your mission and your purpose is going forward? It's a big question, obviously, but what would you say to share more on that?
So my vision is to create AI that serves society inclusively, and my mission also to blend the innovation with ethics, ensuring no one left behind, which I also discussed. And that's what, and whatever things that fighting with the misinformation through modern technology and awareness, digital literacy, which we talked about, spread the digital literacy the way Jay and Warren, you guys are doing it, right? And actively engage in terms of spreading the digital literacy. And also somehow we need to build this, digital literacy part of our basic course curriculum at a school level and university level. Even people, those who are not studying computer science or computer engineering, even the people or the students who enroll in arts, they also need to learn this. So that's how I'm trying to influence and shape the, global perspective with a proper debate, asking the right question, the shape of, ethical AI or ethical AI based solution.
And what does the future hold for you now, Praveen?
So continue innovating and contributing to the public service and global AI ethics. So how I'm driving, how I'm helping in terms of participating in various groups, bringing the my perspective and listening to others' perspective. That's what I'm seeing for myself in future, and continuously evolving and learning about the new technology. Learning never stops, so I will never stop.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic, and to speak with you, and thank you so much. For any of our listeners who want to stay connected with you, is there anywhere they can reach you outside of just the normal LinkedIn profiles?
Yes, they can email me. My email address, if you want, I can share it with you. It's praveentomar12@gmail.com. Reach out to me, right? Because I do actively mentor the young professionals. So if you think you are seeking some kind of advice, some kind of guidance, especially in the space of AI and cybersecurity, I'm happy to help.
Well, look, I'm a big thank you from Warren and I. If people want to continue the discussion, as always, we invite you to join the Secure Cyber Connect community, where we offer a range of collaborative solutions across technology, security, for all professionals at no cost. And if you found some value in today's session, then we offer community access, mutual mentoring, weekly online networking, and a range of exclusive interviews, panel discussions, masterclasses, and live events such as this throughout 2025. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you again.